How you doing? Once more, I'm trying out this live thing, right? For some reason, I've just been too busy to find time to record and edit, sit around the desk and edit, or make any kind of videos. I'm trying, but I just can't find the time to really put in the work and the effort that I want to put in to create anything of value to my viewers and subscribers. And so I'm trying out this live thing, right? Just to see what I can make of it. Maybe it will become the new way to record content, seeing that I don't have to do much editing, right? I'll just have to live with the mistakes that I make, right? So I guess live will become the new thing, right? What's up? How you doing? Let me know where you're watching from in the comments below, right? Let me know of different content that you think you might find interesting, and I could probably venture off into those topics. Oh, what did I just do? Right? And thank you for watching my videos. Thank you for always coming back to the channel. Thank you for showing your support, right? I appreciate it, right? I'm no longer in Turks and Caicos, and so the contents that I usually post about Turks and Caicos, right, I've stopped, and now I'm in a new environment. I can I now have to transform my channel into becoming something else, right? But whatever I do, I'm sure my channel will focus mainly on things that are the everyday life and interactions of African people worldwide, just our culture and our community, right? So yeah, thank you for always coming back. And as the channel grows and evolves into its true nature, can you continue to support the channel and share your suggestions, right? One of the is is the state of the dating world, right? I realize from talking to many people that the dating world is a crazy place right now. I'm a long distance, not long distance. I'm a long term relationship kind of guy, and I don't mess around much in the single life, right? And so I never spend long enough in the dating world to really feel how crazy it is. And so, from my limited experience and just talking to others, I realize it's a crazy place. And I've watched many dating shows. I've watched many content creators talk about just the state of affairs, and I find it interesting. I find the different kind of conversations that they are very interesting. I and the questions that people ask, just getting to know somebody or at first sight. I find the questions that they ask very interesting, right? And I'm like, if you're trying to get anything of value out of a relationship, you would ask. There are particular questions that you'll try to ask just to learn the person in a deeper way, right? But one of the things that I notice is that we we fail to acknowledge. a few things that I deem important to building any meaningful relationship, right? And I also look at different groups of people and whether or not their relationship and family life is thriving, and groups that aren't, and to compare the differences and see where we are going wrong, right? Where we are going wrong. Because I noticed that it is a growing problem, right? Women are complaining that the men are crap. Men are complaining that the women ain't nothing either, right? And it's just a big problem, and it's widespread and getting bigger. So I noticed that the focus, I would say, for the most part, is in the wrong place. We're finding, women will say, I want to find somebody for me, somebody that matches me, and just build from there, right? Men will say that they just want a woman to who matches him, and they'll go from there as well. But not many people. I don't hear many people talking about relationships as it relates to a community. And I know that as people, we are not people who thrive individually, or maybe like penguins or maybe turtles that they can just venture off into nature all by themselves and thrive. We're people who grow together as a herd. And I think one of the problems in the black community or in the African community with relationship is that it has become an individualistic thing. It's my business. Nobody tell me what to do. I choose what's right for me, and it's just me, 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 I. Right? And then you get into a relationship, and from there it's just both of you. There's no community. We determine our own future and all of that, right? And I think there are lots of disadvantage to that. One, like I said again, that's not how we thrive as a species, right? And so taking that approach most of the times, and I don't need to prove that you know that for yourself, ends up in separation, right? Because that's not how we function. I think that relationship will thrive in conditions that encourage community, in conditions that encourage community lifestyle, and in community you'll find cultural principles and norms that will create perimeters and sustainability. It will create the conditions, like I said, that will have relationships grow. But the thing about it is, we're cultured now in a way that we value our so-called independence, right? And doing things our way and my way and me, such that when we think about anybody else having any form of influence on our relationship, we'll throw a tantrum. How dare you? How dare you say anything? This is not your business, right? This is not your business. This is not your business, right? All right. But let me show you now. Let me compare this. For those of you who are living in the United States, you will have come across, or you would have come across the people that we call the Jewish people. And one of the things that I admire about them is their family unit, right? And you realize that they stick together as a unit. And they are one example that you'll see where relationships last, relationships thrive. So, what is it about our community, black community, why our relationships just don't go anywhere? Families are broken, right? If we want to get to the root of this, we have to begin to look deeper than just we just don't gel, we just don't sing. That's just not my type of person and all of that. It's bigger than an individual thing. Relationships thrive in a community, not as individuals. We're not that type of species. So the women are out here and they're complaining about the men and shit, right? And the men are complaining that the women just don't listen and they want to do their own thing, right? But I think we're not starting the conversation where it should start. Where we should start is looking at this. Where did we ever at all have good relationships and good families? And if the answer is yes, then we ask ourselves what happened. But nobody wants to do any form of in-depth thinking, in-depth thought. We just want to spew opinions and if you challenge somebody's opinion, they will crucify you. Nobody wants to find out any form of facts. They just want to spew opinion, like. And once you challenge your thought, they just get disturbed and frustrated. But yeah, ask ourselves: did we at any point in time have any form of good relationships? Right? Did the man and the woman coexist and raise good families? And if the answer is yes, we should ask ourselves, what happened? What happened? And the thing about it is, we learn how to solve and we go to work and we problem solve very well. But when it comes to our personal life and relationship, we don't seem to apply the same problem solving skills. As an electrician, if a customer calls and say they're having a particular problem, what we do, we ask, what kind of problems are you having? What kind of electrical problem? When did it start happening? What do you notice when the problem happens? And is there a particular sound that you hear? How many times in the past has this happened? Did another electrician took a look at it? When was the installation done? We try to get a lot on the history. You go to the doctor. The doctor with a problem, the doctor will ask you, has this happened before? What were you doing when you first noticed this happening? The doctor will try to get a history. If it's a therapist, the therapist will try to get a history of what happened. But when it comes down to our relationships and family and state of affairs, we don't want to go back in history. Now, why are you totally ignoring problem solving skills and troubleshooting skills all of a sudden? Why are you so lazy all of a sudden? Right? When you know how to solve problems, you know how to troubleshoot problems. Look at this now. We get in a relationship and we want to know, or just learning, getting to know the new person. We want to find out a little bit about their past relationship, but that's on an individual level. Now, look at um, look at it on a wider scale, because like I said, relationship relationships thrive in a community, not as an individual entity. Right? You need to gather some history. Now, as black people, why are we the most to not get married? And like I said, it might not even be applicable to everywhere in the world, but especially in the United States. Why are we the least to get married, the most to get divorced, most in single parent home? Why? When you come up with some answers, you ask yourself, at any point, did we have functioning relationships, mother, father, home, and the community? And what happened? When you find out what happened, then you ask some more questions. If we had it before, how did we maintain it? How did we come by that model, right? And whether or not we need to replicate that model to get back to the um, the type of relationship and family lifestyle that we want. Now let's fast forward to today. I realized that some of the distortions in our relationship has to do with the so-called word independence, right? The woman becoming independent of the man and the man becoming independent of the woman. And we love this newfound independence, but what do we realize? It's not working. It's one of the distortion in what was the good thing that was going on for us. It's one of the distortions. Now, a woman will acquire a higher level of education, but now find that she can't get a good partner or a partner that satisfies her, right? Because everybody who she tries to date, she feels now that they are intimidated by her achievement. They're intimidated by her achievement. And she's trying to find a viable partner, but it's difficult because nobody matches up to her or matches up to her expectations or surpasses her. And the few men that surpasses her, right, she doesn't have access to, or they are already in a relationship, or the demand is high for them, so the competition is crazy to get somebody like that, right? I remember I was talking to a lady, and she's saying that it's difficult in the dating world, and what she wants for her life will require a man to earn more than her, and she's earning very well, right? So, and I'm like, my advice to her is that listen, here's what you do with your money, because her concern was that she doesn't want to have to reduce her desires and dreams or live in a lower standard of life just to please him or bring down her standard of living just to please him, right? And let me know what you think about this. I said to her, listen, here's what you do. If you're traveling with your friends, your girlfriends, and treating yourself, go first class. Enjoy your money. You work for it. Your money should not be used to take care of a man and take care of your family. Right? Travel first class. But if he can't afford first class, right? Travel economic class when it's a trip that both of you are going on. You don't need to take him on trips every trip you're going on, so and pay for it and then start growing a level of resentment. Go on the trip that you want to go on with your friends, pay for your first class, enjoy the finest treatment. That's enjoy the fruits of your labor. And then save, plan with your partner where you want to go, and then that particular destination, he can provide for that, and you travel with what he can afford, right? Now, in terms of buying a house, you could share the cost of buying a house, but if you don't feel comfortable and you work with what he can afford, because once you overstep your bound as a woman and you start becoming the provider, it distorts the purpose of each of you. You become now the provider, and that won't work. And if the man starts taking up your role as a woman, that won't work. And I think one of the problems with our relationships is that we've focused, we've begin to focus mainly on status rather than purpose, right? And we want to climb the ladder and the ranks when purpose doesn't go in a linear way, or purpose doesn't go, purpose doesn't have levels, one going higher than the other. Purpose, in my opinion, branches out, right, and accomplish accomplishes what it will, right? So treat yourself with your money, right? And I will also encourage women who find themselves to be high earners and feel like, no, you're a man needs to earn higher than you, and it has become a direct competition between you and your partner, right? Maybe what you should do with your money, what you can do with your money is also become a philanthropist, right? Share your money, build schools and institutions, help your black community to grow to the next level, right? If you find that you have too much money, and if you put it in your house, in your household, you will feel like, no, you're outdoing the man, right? Yeah. So yeah, these women find that the dating world is not promising for them because it's hard to find the men that do earn more than they do, right? I think one of the things that you need to do also is become an activist to change the trajectory of the youth so that for tomorrow's generation they can find viable partners. You will now have to dedicate some time in changing the very system that created you, created the independent woman, the woman that is independent of the man, and the man that is independent of the woman, right? Because unless we grow together, we go nowhere. And what you have become, being that high earning woman, is an incompatible woman. Why? Because now you feel like your earning makes you equal to a man. And I'll say this to you: a man and a woman is not equal. A woman is 100% woman, and a man is 100% man, and both serve different purpose. If you're equal to a man, that means you're not playing, you're not serving your purpose, and if a man is equal to you, he's not serving his purpose. It's not a competition. We're not equal. You're 100% woman. I am a 100% man. You should walk 100% in your purpose, and I should walk 100% in my purpose. And since we serve different purpose, right, we are never in direct contradiction to each other or competition. Rather, we complement each other, right? So I think we need to get back, trace our steps, and find out where we went wrong and what caused that change in direction. And even when we find out that we like some of the things that came along with the new direction, we realize that it is not good and we are willing to change that. Next thing that I want to point out, one of the things is location. Let me use an analogy. Mango trees don't do well in deserts. Trees don't do well in deserts. And if you have a tree, a fruit tree, and it it bears fruit, and one fruit is bad, you say the problem is with the fruit, right? But if majority of the fruits are bad, you say the problem is with the tree. Now, if it was one or two relationships in our community that is bad, you'll say that it's just those two, it's just them people not having a good time. But because majority of our relationships are in terrible condition, it is a community thing. It's the tree. Something is wrong with the tree. And when you've examined the tree and you say the same tree was producing good fruits a year ago, a century ago, 5 centuries ago, then you ask yourself, what's different about the tree? What's different about black people? What's different about our relationship? Is it the location? Is it the location? Is it the conditions in the location? And if your answer is yes, and that's the thing, I want us to start, I want us to use our troubleshooting skills and our um, problem solving skills and apply them to our situation. If we're searching for a problem and you find out that it is bigger than this one spot, like in electrical, if you're searching for a problem in a circuit, you realize there's a burn in the wire or a defective um, device in the circuit, you will move on to other parts of the circuit to see if the problem is widespread. We are having problems in our community with dating and relationships, right? And we realize that more people are having the same problems. Common sense will tell us that it's bigger than just one person, and then you begin to look at the problem in a bigger, on a wider scale, taking an in-depth look. But no, we're too lazy, right? We're too lazy. We just individualize everything and be like, okay, I mean, I'm doing me. I'm staying in my lane. No, we don't. We don't thrive that way, right? So you look at it when, and then be willing to accept the results and the answers that you get. Is it a bigger problem than just one person? Evidence show that, and you say, yes, it is. Don't tell yourself, I don't have time to worry about everybody. Come on, man. Don't be lazy. Our brain has our brains have the capacity to do a lot of things, great things. So don't be lazy. When and accept the answers that you get. It is a widespread problem. Majority of us are having that kind of problems. Marriages are failing, relationships are failing. A lot of single parent moms, right? No sons to no viable candidates for husband. The men that are out there are, they come about with they are, with they, having grown by, having been raised by their moms, lack the masculine energy in a way that they come and they just want to two and two with the women and cuss and just compete with the women. And women compete with the women. Men don't compete with women, right? And so our community is in disarray. All right. So back to what I was saying. When you find out the problem, if the problem says that the location is what may cause or influence the change and why we're in this problem, do something about the location, or create or try to create the environment that you once had within the new location. And if the new location, if it cannot work, don't be afraid to leave. Don't be afraid to leave. But the problem is, we don't want to leave. Women find themselves doing high paying jobs, and so they're saying that the men that we had back in the days, men used to men used to abuse women because they have the power and they're providing. So now that you find out you're the one making the money and you can travel and all of that. You don't want none of that to change. You don't want none of that to change. You want to keep holding on to that power. But a side effect of that is incompatibility. A side effect of that is bad relationship. A side effect of the man, woman being independent of the man, and the man being independent of the woman is bad family, bad relationships. It is not your newly acquired knowledge that caused the incompatibility. Because I know of African cultures, and even in Jamaica, where I'm from, women were very educated on medicine, knowing which herbs to put together for to become antibiotics, for healing, for nutrients, and all that stuff. So it's not your education. Men aren't afraid of your education. If you've attained higher education, that's good. It is that this environment has tied education and intelligence with um, a livelihood. And so now you've become a provider, and now you overstep your bounds and you stepped into the man's purpose. And so now you become his direct competition. And you've made you in some way made his purpose irrelevant. He doesn't have a role to play because you're playing his role. And if he plays yours, then that throws our balance into chaos because he can't be the nurturer and provider and the nurturer like you're supposed to be, right? If he does that, then it becomes an imbalance, right? So I'm not going to make the video much longer. Let us begin to look at our situation, trace our steps, find out if as a people we headed down the wrong path, what created the change, and what we need to do in order to get back to a community lifestyle kind of and a community kind of relationship. Because as long as we try to do it by ourselves, it is not going to work. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Share your views. I know it has been a very long video. If you watch it to the end, please share your comment, like, subscribe, right? If and like, subscribe, and continue to support the channel as it grows. Thank you for watching. And as always, one love.